Hey dads, when you're planning the family trip of a lifetime, one of your big decisions is always going to be, where do we stay? The options are many. Vacation rental, hotel motel, extended stay property, or even perhaps go full mobile and rent an RV. Or, better yet, skip it all, book a cruise, and just take the hotel with you. In this video, we'll share 5 things to think about as you narrow down the type of place you're going to stay at on a family vacation. Now, this is probably apparent, or else you wouldn't be watching this video. But for those of us who travel for work, or remember a simpler time BK, that's before kids. Yeah, things are different now, but that's not a bad thing. Family vacations are amazing, memorable, special, and unforgettable. But they do take some added effort and planning. Now, I'm not gonna tell you that every trip is gonna come out perfect down to the last detail, but with some thoughtful preparations about where you're going to stay, you'll be better positioned for success and have a clearer picture of what you need based on your family's interests and priorities. Tip number 1, clarify your aspirations. You're going on vacation, so why in the world would we even talk about something like goal planning? You gotta stay with me, because it does matter. As soon as our older daughter was getting close to walking, we went into full-on vacation planning mode, because we wanted to instill in her a love of traveling just like mom and dad. And we wanted her to get experience staying in hotels, different routines and bedtimes, and being away from home. The easiest thing to do is book a vacation rental house because it's going to be a lower bar. Totally get it. Tip number 2, scout the destination and activities. As you're deciding on a destination, be realistic about what types of accommodations are there and what they're like. For example, if you're thinking a national parks tour, you're probably going to be looking at campgrounds, vacation houses, lodges, cabins, and maybe that RV rental is a possibility. For Florida, you're going to have lots of options, but also an unusually large number of extended stay and excellent timeshare rental options with kitchens and laundry in your room that you may not have anywhere else. So definitely consider that option. It's not just about the destination though. It's about what you expect to be doing when you get there. If you're thinking all-inclusive resort in a relatively isolated resort destination like, say, Palm Springs, then the on-site amenities and the room really do matter. But if you're doing city sightseeing and just taking naps and sleeping in the room, then you probably want to emphasize convenience and location over room size or on-site amenities. Tip number 3, know accommodation types. Hotels and motels are the tried and true American vacation standard, but today there's so many more options to consider. We'll go into more detail in future videos, but at a high level you should know about the different types of properties. Extended stay, like Marriott Residence Inns, Embassy Suites, and Hyatt House are my favorite hotel options for family trips because they have bigger rooms and rooms with doors, kitchens, and include breakfast. Plus, sometimes they have snacks and drinks available throughout the day. But they may be sometimes further away from key attractions. Resorts have the best property amenities, pools, activities, everything, meaning you don't have to go somewhere else to be entertained. But they're usually the most expensive too. Vacation rentals are great because it's like a home away from home, but there's obviously no activities. You're the activity director, so it's up to you to figure everything out. Timeshare rentals have the benefits of extended stay properties with some of the resort-like activity calendars, but they won't typically offer breakfast and are often geared towards longer stays in weeks, and they usually are clustered around ski and resort locations, so they may just not be available where you want to go. Traditional hotel and motel brands. These are usually a balance of everything. Keep in mind though, that big convention and business hotels do their business for work travel and big events. And while they usually also attract families, this just isn't necessarily their natural focus. Luxury hotels, high-end boutique hotels, and chains like St. Regis, Ritz-Carlton, Waldorf Astoria, and Park Hyatts will do their best to serve families. They're great at service. But again, it's not usually their bread and butter either. Limited service properties geared towards business travelers, like Marriott Courtyards. I would usually avoid these if you can, because you don't get the right room, and you don't get many amenities either. Tip number 4, consider length of stay. Length of trip, of course, matters. If you're on a shorter trip, maybe just 1 or 2 nights, then focus on location and amenities and less on room size. But for anything longer than a couple nights, really I suggest you consider extended stay brands and even possibly timeshare or vacation rentals. We've been there. You're holed up in the bathroom, ears to the door, just waiting for the baby to be asleep so you can sneak back out. This isn't too bad for 1 or 2 nights, but it gets old really quickly. And thinking about nap time in a tiny hotel room with at least 2 adults and possibly more kids just makes my head and ears hurt. Tip number 5, budget and status. Of course, in the real world, many times it comes down to cost. If it's a choice between not going at all and going with some compromises, by all means, go and roll with it and have fun. I've used travel sites like Priceline and Hotwire where you either bid on or opaquely purchase rooms. You can get deals, but today I typically pass on using these sites for family travel. I would rather be clear and upfront on what I'm getting before deciding on a property. And of course, if you have hotel status, maybe you've got points to burn, then the decision becomes really easy. For example, if a $300 a night hotel room in the city suddenly becomes $0 out of pocket before those annoying fees, then the rest of this might not be a big deal. When I had Top Hyatt status, we made use of their generous suite upgrade system, and that is how we planned all of our initial vacations around where we could confirm upgrades. You might be able to do something similar. At the end of the day, or end of the trip, what matters is the experiences and family memories. Those are worth way more than time spent planning and agonizing. So at the end of the day, just have fun. Thanks so much for watching. In future videos, we're going to go more into detail about the types of hotels and more family travel tips. So look out for those. In the meantime, if you have a question or idea, I know every trip and situation is unique, so be sure to leave us a comment below. Until next time, here's to all you great dads out there.